You finally found the treasure and completed your quest. Oh no! It's being guarded by a gourd leshy. It's time to put everything you know to the test in an example combat. But first, let's just learn a little bit more about fighting monsters. First, monsters have special abilities that player characters don't have. That might seem obvious. A dragon has fire breath, but sometimes it might seem unfair. For example, they might have a special action that lets them combine a stride and a strike. It's up to you to figure out how a monster fights so you can strategize against it. That brings us to point number 2. Some abilities target a defense other than your armor class. Armor class is meant to represent a mix between how tough your armor is and how well you can dodge attacks. Armor is very effective against weaponed attacks. However, your armor doesn't help against certain effects like disease, mind control, getting knocked down, fear, getting tripped, or famously, a dragon's fire breath. That's why you have 3 other defense statistics called saving throws: fortitude, reflex, and will. Fortitude is your bodily toughness, reflex is your agility and reaction time, and will is your mental toughness. When you attack something with a weapon, you roll a d20, add your relevant modifiers, and try to beat an armor class. Saving throws are the reverse. Most of the time, the dragon's fire breath will have a DC, and you will roll a d20 and add your reflex to avoid it. Why is it like that? I think it's just because it feels more dramatic this way. The game master will tell you the dragon breathes fire towards you, and all characters in the path of the fire breath must make a reflex save. That dramatic tense roll will determine if they leap out of the way or get roasted. There are some times when something will roll against a save DC, like your reflex DC. That's much less common, but in that case, just add 10 to your reflex modifier to get your reflex DC, and likewise for fortitude and will. Finally, you can learn more about a monster with the action Recall Knowledge. You can actually use Recall Knowledge on anything, but in combat you might be most often using it to identify a monster. There are a lot of monsters in Pathfinder. Some you might have no idea what they are, like the leader of the hobgoblin army named Frank. You have a giant list of skills. When you recall knowledge, your game master will tell you which one to roll, usually one of these 8, which depends on the thing or creature you are trying to identify. If you succeed a DC based on the rarity and level of the creature, the game master will identify the monster to you and tell you its deal. For a gourd leshy, the GM might make you roll nature, and if you succeed, tell you that gourd leshies are nature spirits possessing a body made out of a gourd, and they can shoot seeds which can ensnare you with vines if you fail a reflex save. Some people also play with a rule that a successful recall knowledge lets you ask one mechanical question about the monster, like what's its worst saving throw? The only weird skill in this regard is lore. Lore always has a specific descriptor for your character, such as cooking lore or cheese lore. The more specific your lore skill is to the thing you're recalling knowledge on, the lower the DC will be. Now it's time to face the gourd leshy in the ultimate test. Here's your cheat sheet. There's 2 more actions I want to explain that can be useful in combat. Delay and ready. They're pretty simple, so let's explain them if they come up. First, all creatures roll initiative by rolling a d20 and adding their perception modifier. That determines the turn order. First your friend, then the leshy, then you. Your friend goes first. We'll keep things simple with these tiny character sheets, so we'll ignore weapon traits and spells for now. On this character sheet you can see you have your perception for initiative, how far you can go with a stride action, how alive you are, your armor class, your 3 saving throws, and a melee attack, which includes how much damage it does on a hit. Your friend strides up to the leshy where it has cover from this rock. That increases her AC by 2. Then she strikes with her mace, making a d20 roll and adding her attack bonus. Traditionally, the GM wouldn't tell you the monster's AC, but for clarity we can show that it's 17 or 19 with cover from the rock. The attack hits, so she rolls damage, 4 damage. Finally, your friend takes cover, increasing her cover to greater cover. Now it's the leshy's turn. He attempts to strike with his seed attack. He gets a 19, so it misses, but only because of your friend's greater cover. The leshy then strides over to here and tries to strike again, but this time at you. You have no cover, and your AC is 19. It hits. The leshy rolls damage and gets a 7, reducing your HP. Suddenly, the seed breaks open, and green vines emerge from the seed and start wrapping them around your limbs. Yikes, you'll need to be quick to avoid being ensnared, so make a reflex save. The leshy's ensnare ability has a DC of 17, so with a 23, you dodge out of the vine's grasp. Now it's your turn. Better close the distance with the leshy by using stride, but then you have a plan. You'll be a lot more effective if you can flank the leshy with your friend and make him off guard, but your friend can't move until her turn, in which case your turn would already be over. That's when you can use your last 2 actions to ready an action. There are 2 ways to change change when you use an action. The simplest is delay. At the beginning of your turn, you can simply say, I delay. Then you can wait as long as you want. At the end of any other creature's turn, you can say, okay, I'll take my turn now, and that is your new permanent place in the initiative order, and you can take your turn. The other option is ready. At the end of your turn, you can declare a single action or free action and a trigger. Then when that trigger goes off, you can use your declared action as a reaction, meaning you can use it outside of your turn. You decide to ready an action to strike the Leshy. As soon as your friend flanks the Leshy with you, your turn is now over. It's now your friend's turn. She strides to the other side of the Leshy, who is now off guard. It's your friend's turn, but she just triggered your readied action. Now you can strike the Leshy as a reaction. You roll your strike. You add your attack modifier and you succeed. But wait, since the Leshy is off guard, he gets a -2 to AC. Thanks to flanking and your readied action, you beat the AC by 10, so you get a critical success. The plan worked. You deal damage to the Leshy twice for a total of 8 damage. The Leshy is looking weak. Now it's still your friend's turn, who has 2 more actions. She strikes and gets a total of 19. That beats the AC, so she rolls damage for a total of 4 damage. Now the Leshy is looking very weak. Your friend still has 1 action left. The multiple attack penalty is very punishing, but with the AC penalty from off guard, she decides to risk it. She strikes and makes an attack roll and gets a 21. A success. But wait, she rolled a natural 20 on the die. That means the level of success gets upgraded to a critical success. She deals damage twice for a total of 12 damage. The Leshy hits 0 HP and dies. Hooray! Suddenly, the gourd Leshy explodes, and then the entire battlefield is covered with gourds. Yes, these are the rules as written. Now you get to open the treasure. Rumor has it, it's something gold and yellow. It's gold! But look at all the things we've learned. Sometimes the real treasure are the gourds we make along the way.